So, everybody, it's a pleasure to meet you. My name's Jane Jackson, and I'm going to be taking you through how to power up your resume, all right, today, because I don't know whether you need a resume at the moment, but if you're thinking, oh, okay, for the future, I might be exploring trying to apply for another job, then it's good to have the most up-to-date version of your resume available so that you can use it, okay? Now, your resume and your LinkedIn profile actually tie in quite closely together. And so once you've done your resume, I don't want you to upload everything the same as your resume into LinkedIn. You'll be changing the wording a little bit, but you can use your resume as a basis for some of the things that you put into your LinkedIn profile. But today I'm focusing, main topic is on resumes. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. Oh, we've had 3 more people come in while I was waffling on. So hello, all of the newbies who are here. I'm just going to quickly scroll through and see all of your happy faces. Okay, wait a minute. I'm just going to go into speaker view so I can see you all. All right. And hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to meet you. Okay, now that we've got 26, I'm going to begin and I'm going to start sharing my screen. So we'll just get on with stuff and I won't waste your time because I'm sure you've had a very long day. Okay, so I'll just start the PowerPoint. Okay, so here we go. I hope that everyone can see this. I'm sharing my screen. Can you just type in the chat box if any of this is actually obscured by any boxes at the moment, or can you see the whole screen? If you say yes in the chat box, then I'll know that you can see the whole screen. Perfect, perfect. Okay, fantastic. All right, so the only thing that's blocked is from my side. Okay, so welcome everybody to this webinar, which is how to power up your resume. And the reason why I'm here is because I was asked by AOP to conduct this webinar for you, as I did an actual presentation for AOP in Sydney about a year or so ago. And so I'm Jane Jackson, I'm a career management coach, and I specialize in transition coaching. And basically what I do is I help people to create their dream careers. And anyone who's in between roles or feeling a little bit anxious, I help to build your self-confidence so that you can move forward in your career. I've worked with numerous companies, you can see some of their logos there, and I love to write and talk about careers. So I've been featured in quite a few publications. I'm a regular blogger on Huffington Post and Onepage as well, and someone just asked me to talk about negotiation on Seek, so you'll probably see me there in a week or so. So let me see if I click on the next slide, if it opens up easily. No, it doesn't now. Why is that not happening? Okay, let me just stop sharing for a minute and I'll start again, because as I'm pressing this, it's not going on to the next slide. So hold on a sec. Right, okay, I think you can see this. Now, please, if there's any problem, type in the chat box because I'll be able to see right away. Okay, now I also host the Your Career podcast on iTunes and on Spotify. And so if you want to, in this podcast, I provide a lot of career management advice, as well as interviewing people who've made interesting career changes onto the resume. Now, why do we need a resume? Okay, it's important to have a resume. Now, this is quite obvious. You all know this. We need it for job applications because you've got to submit it online, and we need it for networking for a job, because you can actually have your resume with you printed out when you're networking, if you're asking for advice and guidance and you're moving trying to transition into your career. And if you want to ask for a raise in your salary, the important thing is that you need to be able to demonstrate your worth by having your accomplishments, tangible results, because you were there doing whatever amazing things that you do, because you can't ask for a raise unless you can prove your value. Okay, so those are the reasons why we actually do need a resume. And it's good to keep it up to date all the time, because if every time you've done something good and you write it down and you add it to your resume, it makes it so much easier for you to remember what you've done. Because most of us do everything on a day-to-day basis, and you tend to think, oh, I'm just doing my job. But honestly, you're doing your job very well. So let's document it, put it into your resume. It'll make it very, very long and large, but that's okay. It'll be a master template for you, okay? And then when you need to make an application, that's when you start to cull and tailor your resume so that it will be shorter, around about 2 to 3 pages. So what are accomplishments all about? That's the most important thing, because you can get any template from Microsoft Word and create your own template. I'm sure you've all done that before. But if you don't have tangible results, then your resume isn't going to be as strong as it possibly could be. So what I want you to do is to let your results do the talking. So you don't need to talk about yourself. People can see that you actually get the job done. How do you do that? You need to find out what your accomplishments are. So think about this. Have you improved profits? Have you saved the company money or time? Have you streamlined processes? Have you shown effective leadership capabilities, increased customer satisfaction? Did you create something new or improve a situation? Now, all of you out there, have you done something in your career that has a tangible result? Just type in yes if you have. I'll be very sad if there are no yeses coming through. Okay. So yes, 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 that's right. Okay, fantastic. I'm getting lots of yeses. That means you know that you do a really good job, right? How many of you, I wonder, have tangible results in your resume? Has anyone got the results of, say, streamlining a process and how much money you might have saved as a result? Have any of you, because I'm assuming you're office professionals, so your office managers, your EAs, your PAs, your admin professionals, so you organize things, you streamline processes, you make things easier and more smooth running, right? I hope you've documented it, but we need it in detail. So we use this method: situation, action, result. Okay. Now, we need to state the situation, problem, or issue that you have faced at work. And now Margaret says some streamlining, organization of processes. Okay, now Margaret said she's done streamlining and organization of processes. Fantastic. That means time savings, probably cost savings if you're not using as much materials or whatever it might be. So if you added up how much time savings some streamlining of processes would be on a day-to-day basis over the course of a year, that's quite a lot of time once it adds up. And it could also mean money saved too. So these are the sorts of things I want you to start thinking about. So we need to describe the situation. Then I want you to document, what did you actually do? Or if you're a leader, if there's a team under you as well, what did you lead your team to do or guide your team to do? Okay, or specifically, what did you do on your own? And then what was the result of those actions? If we have dollars or percentage improvements, that would be fantastic. If it's cost savings, how much? If it's time savings, how much time? All right, we need to have that value add. Now, not everyone has got a tangible result. A bit like me, I'm a coach. I don't impact the bottom line except for in my own business. But when I coach at there's this outplacement company where I do a lot of coaching, I don't impact their bottom line. I deliver a service. But what I do is I design, develop, and create new programs and initiatives. And then I convince senior management to say, yes, Jane, let's run with it. And then I'm able to implement them. And that creates client satisfaction and value add as well. I can't give you a number on it, but certainly it is something that is of benefit to the company. And so if you don't have a tangible result, don't panic. You can put down a perceived benefit like client satisfaction or customer satisfaction. Okay. Does anyone have any questions so far? Looks quiet. I want to just check in with you. Am I too fast? Am I going too slow? Or am I just right? Just right, just right. Wonderful. Okay, good. The one thing I hate is, when you go into a webinar and people are just too slow, or else they're talking so fast you don't know what you're doing. Okay, next slide then. I'm going to show you here. Here's an example of some achievement statements. What we do is we take the action and the results once you've done that exercise, and we turn it into a single sentence or 2 sentences, short stuff, okay? So that we know what the benefit is. So here we've got to say, to do with communications, improve staff communication, reward and recognition programs, which raised staff engagement from 69% to 87% in the last financial year. So that's a tangible benefit, yes? Another one, say human resources, developed and implemented an online recruitment and employee change database, streamlining the turnaround of approvals and commencement of recruitment and fast track the onboarding of new employees. So that's not measurable, but it's a perceived benefit fast tracking the onboarding of new employees. That was the benefit. Okay. Oh, hang on. Someone says, jealous of the lady with the wine. Okay. Is there someone drinking wine that I can't see? Okay, I can't see all of you at the moment. So I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves. I should have wine as well, but I've got to concentrate. Okay, the next one, admin. Successfully led the end-to-end project management of company conference for 500 participants, designed invitations, arranged travel, accommodations, speakers, awards, and gifts, and ensured the smooth running of the entire event. Received Star Award for Excellence from the CEO. All right, how nice is that? So do you get the idea with achievement statements or accomplishment statements? What I want you to do is to start the accomplishment statement with an action verb in the past. I'll give you a few if you want to write them down. Designed, developed, implemented, improved, increased, reduced, led, organized. You get the point? Okay, so you did something which resulted in something fantastic. That's all we want. We don't want to have half a page of one accomplishment. Just 2 to 3 lines is more than enough. All right, so moving on. May I move on? Anyone have any questions? Nope, all good. Okay, so happy to listen to me. So your resume. Now, I just like this cartoon, so I plonked it in here. I pruned a tree once, so technically I'm allowed to put branch manager on my resume. Haha, no, you can't. You have got to tell the truth, all right? So please, what we want to do is to put everything in the most favorable light, but you must tell the truth. And there's no point being humble when it's your resume. Stop being humble, because most of us don't like talking about ourselves, but now is your time to shine. So in your resume, you do need to put everything in a really positive light, but it needs to be the truth and not exaggerated, because I'm an ex-recruiter and I used to ask people when I'd look at their resumes, okay, I read that you did this, prove it, tell me the story. All right. So if you can't tell the story, then you'll be in trouble. Now, the next thing is some resume do's and don'ts. 2 to 3 pages for a resume, max. If your resume is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages, too long, no one's going to read it. Because, remember this, write it down if you've got a pen, a resume is a synopsis of your career highlights that's relevant to the reader. Okay, in fact, I'm going to type that here. A resume is a synopsis of your career highlights that is relevant in capitals, if I can type properly, to the reader. Okay, so there you go. Oh, it's a synopsis, but you know what I mean. I mean synopsis. Okay, but basically it's a synopsis of everything that you've done in your career so far, the last 10 years, no further back than 10 years. Okay, 12 max if you must. But it's got to be relevant for the reader. So whatever the job description is or whatever they're looking for, if you've got stuff in there that's not relevant, please take it out. You don't want the kitchen sink in your resume. And I have a lot of clients who go, Jane, but this is me, this is everything. And I'm saying, yes, that's very good. Use it on your master template, but don't submit it to everybody. Cull it so that it is easy to read. All right. So no unexplained gaps. Focus on the past 10 to 12 years as a rule of thumb. Make it simple formatting. Let's not be too fancy with it. I received a PowerPoint resume once, and I thought, oh, what is this? And it was all very colorful. And so if I wanted to print it out, it would use a lot of ink. So not good. Just make it in Word or PDF. PDF is good so you don't lose the formatting. And make sure there's plenty of white space. I want to have margins on the left, on the right, so I can write in those margins as I'm interviewing someone. Okay, this is what I would do when I was recruiting. And the more white space, the easier it is to read. No smaller than 10-point font, because I know I've said 2 to 3 pages, and some of you are thinking, okay, I'll reduce the font down to 8 and I'll get it into 3 pages. That's not the point. I need reading glasses. Okay, so I want it easy to read and I want it short, sharp, to the point, because a resume is your marketing material. That's all. All right. Please proofread, because you're all professionals, okay? Admin professionals who are very detail oriented. And if you say you're detail oriented and you notice that there's a typo in your resume, that means you're not that detail oriented. So please make sure you proofread and get someone else to read it too, because, you know, Oh, someone's just said, I never knew a resume and a CV were different. I'm going to tell you the difference in a minute. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie, for mentioning that. So we need to proofread, get someone else to read it, because you know what it's like when you're proofreading something, you keep reading and reading and you see the same mistake. You don't even notice it. So get someone else to read it and tell the truth. Okay. The difference between a resume and a curriculum vitae is that a resume is a synopsis of your career highlights that's relevant to the reader, as I've already told you. A curriculum vitae, if we're going to use the word correctly, and in Australia, they tend to use the word interchangeably between CV and resume. But if you're going to be really pedantic about it, a curriculum vitae is really only used in academic circles or scientific circles. Did you know? There you go. And what that is that you can put everything you want into a curriculum vitae. It can be 15 to 20 pages long, because if you're an academic and you're going for a research and development role at the University of Sydney, yes, they want everything in there. Every single paper you've written, every patent you've patented, every qualification under the sun that you've ever had, they want the whole shebang, okay? So if they really ask for a CV, but it's in academic or scientific circles, then go for your life. You can make them as long as you like. But if a resume in the corporate sense, which is what I'm assuming most of you will be experiencing, needs to be about 2 to 3 pages max. All right. And I'll give you some samples of how they really need to look, these resumes, shortly. So next one is here. What to include? We need your name, of course, so we know how to reach you. Okay, your email and your mobile. Do not put your home address. We don't need an address. And if you can, if you've got a LinkedIn profile, please put your LinkedIn profile URL. And I'm assuming that you know what that is. If people don't know what it is, please ask in the chat box. But your LinkedIn, if you've got a LinkedIn profile, you will have a URL which will lead you to your profile. I would like you to personalize that URL by shortening it. Okay. And like if you look at my LinkedIn profile URL, it goes linkedin.com/in/Jane Jackson. If you haven't personalized yours will say Mary Smith. It'll be Mary-Smith-56827. There'll be all these numbers afterwards and it'll look like you're an inmate. So what you want to do is to remove those numbers and personalize your LinkedIn profile URL. Why put a LinkedIn URL into your resume? Because it will be hyperlinked if you send the soft copy over there. People can click on it, go and see your beautiful face, and they will also see all the pictures and media and videos and whatever else you might be putting onto your LinkedIn profile if you're building your brand properly. Okay. Also, a benefit is on LinkedIn, you can request for recommendations. And so if people give you a recommendation, that means what you say on your LinkedIn profile is true, and it gives you additional clout and credibility. Okay, so having a LinkedIn profile URL is very useful. All right, if anyone objects, please put it in the chat box and I'll discuss it. The next one, after your contact details, then we need to have a professional profile. I mean, a summary of, say you are an executive assistant with extensive experience in whatever industry, and give me a list of what your skills are, what your core capabilities are, and basically what you're known for being. That's what we put in the professional profile. The profile projects you into your desired role. It doesn't go on about ancient history. It's projecting you into your desired role. Okay, I hope you get that. Then you have an option to put a table format career summary, and I'll show you an example in a minute of where you've been and where you've worked and what job titles you've had. This could work for you if you've worked for really big name companies. All right. And, like say you've been with Mac Bank and HSBC and Credit Suisse, and it's like, oh, clout, clout, clout. And then you've had ever increasing job titles. That's even better. And that's when a summary in a table format will work. After that, we need your professional experience, then your accomplishments with tangible results, as I mentioned before, and then your academic qualifications and certifications. Typically, after that, we have projects if you worked on them, awards if you've received them, and if you're a member of any association or group or even charitable organization or member of a board, please add it in there as well. And anything really relevant. Okay, if you do a lot of voluntary work and it helps demonstrate that you are dedicated to helping the community, that would be a benefit to you as well to add it in there. Okay, I'm just going to pause for a second because I've been talking for a long time and find out if you have any questions yet. So I'm having a look in the chat box to see if you want to ask me anything. Or have you all fallen asleep? Are you still there? Am I talking to myself? Hello? No one's talking to me now. All right. You've obviously all fallen asleep. Oh, very interesting. Interesting. Will we be getting a copy of the slides? You may, if you're very nice to me, I might do that. Okay, good so far. All right, good. You're still awake. Thank goodness. Okay, next one. Now, this might be a little bit hard for you to see, but I'm not too worried about this because let me just see if I can make it a little bit bigger. Zoom in. Okay, slightly bigger. I don't know if it's much better, but anyway. So this is your typical stock standard resume, basically. Your contact details at the top, professional profile, then your professional experience, academic qualifications, and memberships down at the bottom. It looks pretty boring, doesn't it? But this is your standard resume that most people tend to use. There is another format that you can use. It's called a functional resume. Okay, and so I'm not sure if you can see this very well, but again, at the top, it's the same as your standard your standard reverse chronological resume. Oh, someone's just arrived. Hello, Maria. Nice to have you here. Sorry you've missed so much. But at the top, we have your name, email, and mobile, your professional profile as normal. But then instead of going straight into your professional experience and responsibilities and accomplishments, we go into your functional capabilities. Okay, this is a functional resume format. So what we do is we break it down into your areas of expertise. So say if it's business development or project management, etc. Oh, I think there's some construction going on outside. I hope it's not too noisy for you. It's just started. Or say if it's administration or it's leadership or it's design or whatever it is that you do, you put down the main functional capabilities and then underneath you bullet point your accomplishments in that area. Now, a functional resume is really good if you're thinking of making a career change. So career changes, think about this because you're an EA and now you suddenly want to be I don't know, a customer service specialist or whatever it might be. So instead of highlighting the fact that you've been doing admin for the past 5 years, you're going to talk about your customer service experience that you might have had, say, a few years ago, and give us your accomplishments in this area here in the resume, but people won't know how long ago it was. All you're doing with a functional resume is highlighting what you can do rather than when you did it. And then, of course, after all of those accomplishments, then you go to professional experience. But we don't need detail in this section because we've got the accomplishments and the functional capabilities. All we need is your company name, you know, where it was, brief description of the business, and then your job titles. And we just go back in time because all the meaty stuff is up here in the functional capability section. Okay, and then we do your academic qualifications, professional development, etc. after that. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is something what I really like, and this is, I'm just going to have a look at, someone's typed in some things. For someone starting out in the full-time job market, graduating from university, who may have participated in casual roles and also internships, but may not have full-time experience in the advertised role, what are some powerful words, phrases, or ways of expressing this life experience that would catch the employee's eye? Okay, this could also apply to someone coming back from work. Okay, transferable skills is what you're looking for if you're making a change. Okay, so you've got to think, what are transferable skills that are usable in just about any type of role? I'm assuming everyone can read this question here. It might be relevant for some of you. You've got to think, what are transferable skills? So transferable skills predominantly are teamwork, are communication, would be leadership. It could be your attention to detail. It could be your analytical capability. It could be your organizational skills, because in just about every role, we kind of need those skill sets, right? So even if you were working in a casual role, say if you were maybe as a sales professional at Country Road, you know, in a casual capacity over Christmas, and you think, oh, that's the only experience I've had, then you can talk about how you were highly organized, you were able to practice cash management, you were using your customer service and communication skills, you were using your influencing skills, okay, because that's what sales professionals do. Okay, you can even mention that you had sales experience. So think about what it is that you can do rather than what it is that you don't have. I hope that's answered your question, Maria. Now, back to this that is in front of you at the moment. This is my favorite layout for a resume. At the top, we've got your name, email, mobile, LinkedIn, public profile, URL, and then your profile. The profile is a summary that projects you in the direction that you wish to go into. And you use those keywords or transferable skills if you're making a change. Plonk them in here, because if you've got a bio that projects you into the desired direction, you could even say something like, seeking to leverage my experience in whatever it is into whatever role you're aiming for. Does that make sense? I hope that helps. Okay. Then what I like here is, if you've been working in ever increasing roles, all right, for reasonably long tenure, and you've worked for some good blue chip companies, then let's put this as a table in your page 1. Okay, so we've got the company name, your job title, and the dates that you were there. If you've worked in a number of different countries, you might want to have an extra column where you put the city, you know, London, Singapore, Hong Kong, wherever it is that you've worked as well, because that could be a selling point. You never know. All right, this means that in your profile, people see the direction you're projecting yourself into, and then in the career summary section, they can see where you've actually been, and it makes sense. And then after that, on page 1, we have your academic qualifications, professional development, certifications, or whatever it is that you've got, and then your memberships, and then your awards. Okay, so I think I'm just going to make this a tiny bit smaller so that, okay, so that, right, okay. So here you can see page 1 is like a 1-page bio. It doesn't have all the detail, but it gives you an idea as to what type of professional you are. So if you got my resume and you were hiring for an executive assistant, my resume would say, you know, career coach with extensive experience in blah, 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 and where I've worked. It would be completely not the right type of resume for an admin professional. And so you would bin me, okay, right away. I'd go in the bin, because everything that I have here, all the qualifications, the MBTI, the Coach U, all that stuff is just not relevant for an administrative role. But once, if you get the idea in the profile that, oh, okay, this is kind of like the person, the type of person that we're looking for. Oh, she's worked at these great companies. Oh, maybe we're an insurance company and she's been at QBE and IAG and whatever it is. Then it's like, oh, we might want her right away. So it makes them think yes, no, or maybe instantly. Does that make sense? Okay, because people spend 12 seconds looking at resumes. First cut, 12 seconds. Quick glance, yes, no, or maybe. That's all we decide. People are very impatient. If you're going for an admin role, I can almost guarantee you overnight there will be 200 to 300 applicants. Okay, so you've got to really get noticed very, very quickly. So this 1-page bio is pretty good, makes it easy. Now what I want to do is I'm going to minimize this, and I want to show you, I just need to move this over a bit. I want to show you something else. I can't seem to show you something else here. Wait, minimize this. I'm having a bit of a problem moving my, good. Now I can move it up here. That makes sense. Okay, here, now you can see the PDF of this resume. Okay, so all the details, I'm scrolling down, you can see that it is like a 1-page bio. Notice here I've added something else. Okay, key accomplishments. Now, if you're going for an EA role, say, and this is projecting you in the right direction in the profile, you've got a career summary, you've worked for some lovely companies, and you've had, executive assistant reporting to the CEO or whatever here, then you've got some key accomplishments. Put in 2 or 3 accomplishments where you've organized major events and it's been a massive success, or you've streamlined processes and you've saved money because of your incredible research capability and procurement capabilities. All right, so that means you just give 2 or 3, like, hey, I get stuff done and I save you money, or I help you to improve profits or whatever, and then your qualifications, memberships, and awards. Does that make sense? Do you like this? Yes, no, maybe not. All right, you've all fallen asleep again. Great template. It is a very good template. I know, I like it. I created it. Okay, anyway, so now I'm going on to page 2, all right? Page 2 is your stock standard stuff, all right? Professional experience, reverse chronological order, company, brief description, reported to, direct reports, number of your key responsibilities, your bullet points, all right? So this is just your standard resume, but it's on page 2. Languages, if you've got them, any additional information that may capture their attention if you're a competitive ballroom dancer or skydiver or whatever. Okay, but the important thing is this, page 1 as a 1-page bio. No one wants to waste time reading 5-page resumes. That 1 page, if you are in the yes or maybe pile, that means that person will come back and read the rest of your resume later. All right. So I'm just going to minimize that. I'll go back to this so you can see it again. And I just got to move all these pictures of you over to the side. Okay. So next one. So, well, in fact, before I even go here, I actually think I should show you something really good. Okay, let me show you something. I get very excited when there's something to show you. I'm going to go to, write this down, everyone, jobscan.co. Okay, this is going to be your best friend if you're looking for a job. And I hope my internet connection is strong enough. Yes, okay. So when you go to jobscan.co, I wonder how many of you, do you know about the applicant tracking system when you submit online? Anyone know? ATS it's called. Does anyone know? No. Good. Okay, well, let me tell you something. When you submit your resume online, so often it goes into cyberspace, right? And it disappears and you never hear from anybody. Or you might get an automated response. Thank you so much for your application. We will be in touch. Or you might get a response. Thank you so much for your application. We've had so many highly qualified candidates, but we won't be progressing with you at this stage, but we'll keep you on our database. Okay. And so I'm sure, you know, many people have received that before, but it's just a standard template. Okay, it's not a personalized note to you at all, because when you click apply on Seek or My Career or any major recruiter's website, it goes into a applicant tracking system. It's usually Taleo or Turbo Recruit or something like that, and it's very much like this. Jobscan.co. Jobscan.co is free. If you want to do lots and lots of scans, you'll have to pay, but it's free to start off with. But what you do is you get past the resume robots, the artificial intelligence that scans your profile. I mean, scans your resume and scans your cover letter, right? And so what happens is you can copy and paste the job description over here on the right, and you copy and paste your resume on the left, and then you click scan. And what it does is it scans your resume. I'm just going to show you, here's a sample resume and job, all right? So here's a job description. Mobile shopping is one of Amazon's fastest. They copied and what's happened? Oh, they copy and pasted it there. It just goes to the next one very quickly. And then they copied and pasted their resume on the left. And so what this does, I'm just going to end the tour. What this does, it scans it. Look at this. It gives you a match rate. So that resume was a 69% match to the job description. Am I going too fast? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, you understand what I'm saying, right? So the match is only 69%. I can tell you recruiters tend to look at 80% plus match. So if your keywords are not a close enough match to, I know, it's great, isn't it? Okay, thank you, I'm just reading the chat here. But if your resume is not a high enough percentage match to the job description, it's unlikely it will get read and you'll get that automatic, no thank you, but thank you for applying. Okay, so you need to get it above 80%. And so when you see this match, don't get upset. All you do is you have a look down here. You are missing, this is for this example, one important high value skill. Okay, job title's okay, education's okay. And then here, word count. This resume is 1,058 words. Too long. You need to keep it under 750 words. I told you this is why 2 pages. Okay, 3 pages max. If you go over a bit, it's okay, but it's better to be shorter rather than longer. Measurable results. This person has got some measurable results. Great. Oh, then they said, we found some negative phrases or cliches in your resume. And so it tells you, oh, you're being cliched as well. So then you go down to hard skills. Look here, it tells you in the job description, the word product has been mentioned 8 times. In this person's resume, they've mentioned it 21 times. Overkill. I mean, really, you only need to match it once or twice and it's already a match, right? Then they mention the word mobile 8 times. This person has it 7 times in their resume. The job description says 3 times customer experience. This person does not have the phrase customer experience at all. All right, so big red mark there. And you can see it tells you all the different phrases. So this one, mobile shopping, mobile commerce, mobile platforms is in the job description. This person does not have any of that in their resume. And they might think, oh, I've done mobile commerce before. Well, they should put it in their resume. They just didn't realize it. You know, customer facing, they don't have it in their resume. You see the red X? So there you go, all right? So I think you get the point. Then soft skills, look at this. They want someone with passion, innovation, strategic thinking, who inspires, who has a vision. This person hasn't got any of those exciting words in their cover letter or in their resume. So what they need to do is to go back to the resume and add attention to detail because it's needed. And if you think, no, I think I've got that in my resume, you click on highlighted skills, okay? And here in the job description, it says passion, but there's no passion here highlighted at all right? So I think you probably like this because it's quite clever, isn't it? And I'll just minimize that and I'll move this around. Sorry, I just keep having to move these things around and I'll go back to my PowerPoint. I'll move this down to the bottom. Okay, any questions on that? It's good, isn't it? Someone's saying, what a fabulous, I know it's a fabulous tool. And let me just type in here, jobscan.co, all right? Don't you just love me? All right, this is why I'm a career coach. I've got so many tips and tricks for you. Okay, guys, I'm moving on. So, okay, any questions about resumes at the moment before I move on to something else for a little while? I'll just wait. Yes, I'm brilliant. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I think you're all wonderful too. But it's fun. Once you know how, then it's easy. Are photos overkill? Photos on a resume, if they ask you for one because you're going to be front of camera or customer facing and it's important the way you look and you know, say you're selling a beauty product or whatever, then okay, then add it in if they ask for it. If they don't, then don't put in a photo, all right? And why not? Because on LinkedIn, that's where you can have your photo because LinkedIn is social media and it's a networking site, okay? So no other questions? Right, I'm going to carry on now. On to LinkedIn. Very briefly, okay? LinkedIn and your online branding. Now, crafting a resume, I've given you all the tips there for the resume so that you can tailor it properly and you can use JobScan. And, you know, if you're not getting any results, you know, you just don't have a high enough percentage match to get through the robots that are scanning your resume. So that's your fault, okay, if you don't tailor it. I suggest actually before you apply, can you pick up the phone? If you see a job ad, pick up the phone and talk to the recruiter. Or if they don't have say it's a company ad and they don't have someone's name, call up the company and say, could you put me through to HR? And then ask them, who is the person who is handling the recruitment for this role? And you know, may I speak with him or her? Because then when you get them on the phone, you can have a chat and sell yourself a bit over the phone. And it's more likely that you'll get your resume read because then you can say, oh, can I send my resume directly to you? Or do you prefer me to go through the system? Of course, I will apply through the system, but if I can email you my resume as well, then that means, okay, double whammy, someone's going to look at your resume, okay? So pick up the phone, don't be shy. Back to LinkedIn and online branding. Okay, there are over 500 million members in over 200 countries on LinkedIn. 500 million people cannot be wrong, right? In Australia alone, it's got over 8 million members and it's growing every second. There are 2 more people joining LinkedIn and it is a global online networking site, okay? So the easiest way for you to brand yourself as a professional in your area is to get onto LinkedIn and brand it, okay? So 93% of recruiters plus hiring managers use LinkedIn as their first point of contact when they're sourcing for candidates, because we hop onto LinkedIn, we type in executive assistant Sydney, and all these executive assistants will pop up. Or you might put in office manager, insurance Sydney, and all office managers in insurance in Sydney will pop up. And if you don't have a good profile with all the right keywords, you're not going to pop up. And there's no point popping up on page 5 of LinkedIn. You've got to pop up on page 1 of LinkedIn, all right? If you want, you can always type in Career Coach Australia or Career Coach Sydney into Google and you'll find me on page 1. Do you ever look at page 2? No. So on LinkedIn for you, let's make sure you get up there as quickly as possible, all right? So why do we use LinkedIn? You set up your profile at linkedin.com if you've never used it before, to keep in touch with your connections and people in the same professional groups as you, all right? If you are connected to 100 people, each of those people you're connected to have probably got at least 50 to 1,000 or 2,000 connections. Just imagine being connected to one person could potentially link you to 1,000 extra people. And then if you're connected to 100 people, you could easily work up to 1 million potential connections. Honestly, it's almost scary what you can do on LinkedIn. So if you're thinking about making a career change, or you're looking for a job and you want to network with someone, use LinkedIn to find someone that you can talk to, okay? And I've got lots and lots of tips on LinkedIn that I provide for you. I provide the tips actually on LinkedIn. If you want to connect to me, you'll find me, Jane Jackson, career coach. It's very easy to find. Or else you can, what am I trying to tell you? You can go to my website, janejacksoncareers.com, and you'll be able to find lots and lots of information about LinkedIn there too. I have a 9-day free LinkedIn challenge that you can take if you wish. So if you want, I can always send you the link. Okay, now on LinkedIn, you can look for open jobs as well and see who has posted the roles. The good thing is if someone has posted the role and you can see the poster, you can actually click on that person and request to connect. And so then when they're connected, they can look at your profile and see all the recommendations of many people saying how amazing you are, right? They're writing recommendations on LinkedIn, and it makes such a difference. You can also research companies and find out how you're connected to people in that company. So if you want to work for Apple, you type in Apple on LinkedIn, it'll pull up Apple and it'll tell you how many people are following the company, how many employees are in the company, and how you are connected to those people in the company. It could be primary connections or secondary connections, all right? Okay. Wonderful. Stacey, you've got your LinkedIn, Stacey King. I'm sure it'll be lovely to connect with you. So anyone who wants to connect with Stacey King, it'll improve your network as well. You can connect with me too. So there you go. So you can research potential hiring managers. So if you know you're going in for an interview with Joe Bloggs of, I don't know, ABC Company, then go and look for Joe Bloggs at ABC Company on LinkedIn and find out his career path. Find out where he's been. See what his recommendations are like. See if he's posting articles. See if he's got a pulse post on LinkedIn at the top of his profile. Find out what interests him and what he's trying to do, all right? And also you can use it to build your online personal brand and attract opportunities. If you brand yourself well on LinkedIn, you will attract opportunities. Let me show you something. I'm just going to close this. Are you interested in LinkedIn, or do you want me to stick to resumes? Hello? Anybody? Not interested? Interested? I'm going on to the interested LinkedIn. Okay. Okay, good. All right. There are so many interesting things that I can tell you. Okay, LinkedIn. All right, we're going to LinkedIn, and I'm just going to show you, because I have the kitchen sink on my LinkedIn profile, because I use it for branding. All right. Let's hope it opens up without, okay, great. So I'll just show you, I don't have a lot of time, I've got 15 minutes left, so I want to make sure I give you as much value as possible. So here, let me show you an example. Say I'm looking for, should I say executive assistant? Executive assistant, okay. But also resumes we need to update. Okay, just very, very quickly. Okay, well, I've gone through resumes, and I can also send you my resume template if you like to, so that will be helpful. Okay, so executive assistant, say we're talking about insurance. Oh, okay, that's good. Insurance, say in Sydney. All right, so here we go. Right, so here we've got Tracy Roberts, Executive Assistant, Sydney Motorway Corporation, but she used to be with insurance, Chubb Insurance. Here's an EA at GE Capital. She must have the word insurance in there somewhere. Here's another one, Victoria Mills, EA Insurance. So you see why these people have come up. So if I want to poach someone, all right, Tracy Roberts has come up first. And say if I want to post her, okay, she's been out in the evening here, she's got a bit of cleavage. Okay, so make sure that your professional profile is a professional profile, because it looks like she's about to go out for a party and it's a happy snap, okay? She doesn't have any branding back here with regard to being an EA and looking very, very organized, but she's a very pretty lady. It's a nice photo, but it's just not quite as professional as, you know, I assume stuff that she's about to go out for a party and she's kind of fun. But it's just on LinkedIn, it's nicer to look a little more professional, up to you. She's got standard Executive Assistant Sydney Motorway Corporation. That's a stock standard, a tagline. And she's got a few words about being customer focused, organized, proactive, very nice. And she's got a few followers. She's got 495 connections, and she's got the same number of one follower on top of the 495 connections, and she's kind of active on LinkedIn, so that's good. And here's where she's been, but she doesn't have a lot of information underneath. She could put down a whole lot of responsibilities and accomplishments that are to do with being an executive assistant and support and detail orientation and organizing events and all this sort of stuff that would make her profile even more compelling. Okay. Now, very, very quickly, on my profile here, you'll notice it's very, very different. And it's different because I have branding at the back. So I put a photo with my book, Your Career Success is My Business, little tagline. I like to speak. And so there's a tiny little picture of me there. I've got a bigger one, so you know that's actually me. And here's my photo, which is, you know, my brother took this photo and I removed the background. But, you know, it's a nice, happy, smiling, professional photo. All right. Here, my surname is Career Coach and I'm ICF credentials. So I've used my name to brand myself. I have used the tagline instead of the default that most people use. I put in, I help you to make your dream career reality. I put career coach, LinkedIn trainer. I have put keywords in. So whatever you're looking for in this area, I will probably come up. Now look at this. This is a little bit different and you might want to think about it. Instead of putting I'm a career coach with X number of years experience that sounds like a resume, I put many people find it a challenge to manage their careers effectively, especially when they're not sure of their true passion and direction. If you're at a crossroads feeling stuck, let's take care of the tough stuff. So who am I talking to? I'm talking to someone who is feeling stuck in their career and maybe looking for a career transition. So I'm talking to my target audience's problem. I wonder if yours does as well. Then if you think, yeah, I really want to know about my passion and direction, you might click on show more. And then in this, I have keyword saturated this entire profile. All right. So I've used extra bullet points to put in my keywords. You can bullet point to put in your keywords. Put additional credibility. I put my email address. And I put a virtual landline number and my website and my Twitter handle. So even if you're not connected to me, you can email me because you can look on my profile and see it. I want you to do that too. All right. That's all I'm going to show you of my profile, but it's just, you can see how it's really good for branding. Here's Katie Perret, who's one of my clients. She's about mid-level HR, really lovely lady. And she is an employee. She's not marketing her own business, but look at what she's done. She's HR, learning and development, moving into the well-being space now. But look at this. One of the biggest challenges facing organizations today is developing the capability of their leaders. Now, if you're in HR and you're looking for someone to join your team, developing the capability of leaders and the people is what HR does, right? So whether it's L&D or it's organizational development, that is talking about the problem of organizations. And so then she gives us the credibility. I loved working on this with her. It's just a short one, but she's then gone into, over the past 14 years, I've designed and delivered innovative solutions that build capability, improve employee engagement. So doesn't that make sense? Okay, you mentioned the problem, your hiring manager will think, yeah, I'm having a problem with organizational development. This person sounds like she knows what she's talking about because I have to click to see more. So those first two lines had better capture someone's attention. Otherwise, you may have lost them. Okay, she's a bright, happy, sunny person. So she just wanted some bright, happy pictures, colors there. And this is her lovely profile photo. So that's that. Okay, so I'm just going to close this now in case anyone is interested in anything else. Okay, no. Right, so I'll go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, so that's about LinkedIn. Any questions? I'll just pause for 5 seconds. No questions. All right, you've all again fallen asleep. I hope it has been useful. Okay, all right, no, great, right. Okay, so now, before I go to the next slide, do you have any questions about resumes? Great info so far. Wonderful. I'm very happy to hear that. That's fantastic. Thank you. I don't know why this has moved over here. I'm obviously editing my slides as I go. Okay. Love that. Great. Okay. Fantastic. What about resumes, guys? Resumes. Any questions about resumes? Nope. Okay. Next slide. Okay. So here we go. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me. Okay. JaneJacksonCoach.com is where you will find me. I have a personal branding course. It's an online course. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. Oh, should you put your age on your resume? No, no, please don't. Okay. If you have lots of experience and you're a little bit older, I mean, I'm in my 50s. Okay. So I don't you know, I tell everybody I'm in my 50s, but in my resume, I don't go back to 1979. Okay. I only go back the last 10 years. So you don't need to put your age on your resume. I mean, if you're 18, either they're going to think you're too young or you're too old. Okay, they never quite think you're just right. So you don't need to put that in your resume. Your name, your contact details, and your email, your mobile number, and your LinkedIn public profile URL. That's all you need. Jane, what about when you have a panel of questions to prepare before the interview? Okay, so if you've been given a number of questions and that's gold. If you're told what to say before the interview, that's fantastic, because that means that you can address each of those questions. And for every question you've been given, can you please include an example of where you've done something like that? Okay, so if they're asking you about, I don't know, your organizational capabilities, and if you've organized major events. If you haven't organized major events, but you've organized, say meetings of up to 10 people, you can tell them about the process that you go through to organize those meetings, so that they know how well organized you are. All right, so it's great to have the question. I'm not talking about interviewing today. I mean, I could do, there's lots of stuff on my website about interviews as well that might be helpful. You can ask me a question on LinkedIn. But if you've been given a series of questions, what it gives you is an indication as to what's important to them. So if you've been given the questions and you want to update your resume, you can actually put in some examples that might address the resume, and that would be quite helpful. What I would also do once I've got those questions is go and make sure that I demonstrate that capability on my LinkedIn profile. Then I'll go and stalk the person I'm going to be interviewing, so they'll see that I've looked at their profile, which might prompt them to look at my profile and see that, oh, I'm addressing those problems that are in the questions. Does that make sense? Pretty good, isn't it? Should you include referees on a resume? No, unless they ask you to. If they ask you to, then of course, whatever they ask, give it to them. But if they don't ask, do not put referees on a resume, especially when you're applying to a recruiter, because that means you're giving them free information about hiring managers. And the recruiter might not even call you, but they're going to have the names and contact details of hiring managers. They'll pick up the phone and call the hiring managers and say, hey, are you hiring an EA? Okay, or an office manager? I've got great candidates. Okay, so only give a list with referees when you've gone through the process, and they have asked for your referees because you've had maybe 2 or 3 interviews. And if they say, oh, we'd like to contact your referees, it means bingo, I'm shortlisted. So that means you get on the phone and you call each of your referees. Okay. Government roles give you a selection of 6 questions to answer, max 2 pages, so that you can be assessed. Then when you arrive, they give you about 3 questions to answer. Yeah, I know it's all that selection criteria usually. Okay. And then when you arrive, you've got the important thing is go into the interview well prepared, well rested, enough sleep, have something to eat, meditate beforehand, so you're in a really good frame of mind, so that you're not stressed when you get those questions that are last minute. Okay, because you need the presence of mind. And the key to successful interviewing is preparation. I need to focus on the resumes rather than interviews. Maybe if you want an interview webinar at some stage, I can go into great detail. Okay. I think I've answered all of those questions. Yes. Yes, thank you, Jane. I have to run. Okay. Siobhan, sorry you have to go. Let me quickly just tell you then about personal branding. I have an online course. This is great. Okay, so you stay to the end, and I'm going to give this to you for half price if you would like it. It's a great course. It takes you through LinkedIn. It takes you through all the meaning of life, basically, what makes you tick, how to create a really powerful online brand, and in person as well. Okay, so next steps are update your resume. If you want some free resources, go to janejacksoncoach.com and download the free resources on my website. Okay, connect with me on LinkedIn. Just look for me, Jane Jackson Career Coach. You will find me. And then tonight, there is a special offer. Only for tonight, if you want it. It's normally $97, but today, if you use this AOP47 as a coupon code, you'll get it for half price, only $47. It's a fantastic online course that will take you through 5 modules, 14 lessons, and through it, you will assess your core values, you'll do your life inventory, you'll understand your motivators, your demotivators, you'll identify your accomplishments. You will create a pitch for networking as well as for interviews, and you will learn how to use LinkedIn to brand yourself. So this is what's covered in the personal branding course. So if you're interested, just go to this bit.ly shortened link, and you'll be able to put in AOP 47 and you can get it for half the price. Okay, but that's only for tonight, and then it just bumps back up to the normal price. And if you want to get it for the normal price, you're very welcome to as well. Okay, I'll drop an email to everybody with the links if you haven't written down this http://bit.ly /JJ branding. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Can you type it in here? Okay, I'll type it in here. http there bit.ly /JJ capitals, okay, BRAN, capital J, capital B, branding, and you will be able to go to it. If not, don't worry, I'll just send you an email anyway, because I've got your email addresses. And so, ladies and gents, if there are any gents, thank you so much for attending this webinar. It was my pleasure. I'm going to hang on just for about 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. If anybody's got any questions, just please feel free to ask. Some of you might have been a shy person, okay? And if I can figure out how to close this, I will go back to this and hopefully stop sharing my screen so I can see you all again. So here we go. Oh, I'm having a hot flush, guys. So if you've got any questions at all, I'm here. If you, we can actually chat about it now if you like. You don't have to. Someone's going to sign off now. Bye, Susan. Lovely to see you. Thank you, Kerry. Bye for whoever's leaving. Whoever wants to hang about, I'm just going to be here so you can ask me some questions. I can see that I've still got quite a few of you here. So if anyone's got a question, I can unmute you and you can ask, all right? Does anyone want to wave at me and I'll, okay, Maria. Maria, what questions have you got for me?
Hi, can I ask a question that encompasses preparing resumes but also going to interviews?
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. I'm here for 10 minutes.
Great. Okay. Very quick. Is there value in applying and going to interviews if you're successful as a matter of practice, rather than just saving yourself for the ultimate interview? I mean, is it worthwhile?
First of all, do not go for the dream job for your first interview. Do not, okay? Because you will be, if it's your dream job, you're going to be so nervous, you'll be tying yourself up in knots, and you won't have had the interview practice, okay? So you do need to have some interview practice. So if there are some roles that you think, you know, yeah, I think I'll probably get a call back for this, why not apply? First of all, see if your resume is working. Because if it's not getting through the applicant tracking system and no one's calling you, well, that's telling you something, isn't it? Okay. So when you apply for a job, don't think about the end result. I want the job. Think about, let me see if the process will get me through. So, oh, hang on. Someone's just shared their screen. Can you stop sharing your screen, Chris? Everyone's seeing your screen. I don't want to see it. Stop sharing. Click stop sharing right away. I hope you can still hear me.
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, I'll keep talking while Chris figures out how to stop sharing her or his screen. Ah, good. Thank you, Chris, whoever you are. Probably having a bit of a panic. Okay, so first of all, make an application, see if you can tailor your resume to suit that application, and then submit it. Okay, put it through job scan, see what the percentage match is. If it's over 80% percentage match, fantastic. Then go and submit it. If it goes into the black hole of cyberspace, it's not working. Why not? Maybe you haven't tailored it well enough. Maybe your cover letter isn't saying the right things. But if you do get a call back, that means you have to talk on the phone. And they usually say, oh, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You're applying for this role. Then you need to have your pitch ready. And this is actually something, in my personal branding course, I talk about how to prepare a pitch. So it might be useful for you guys if you like it. But you need to say, okay, well, you know, I'm a career coach. I specialize in transition coaching. Basically what I do is, and then I talk about it clearly and concisely, because if you don't speak well on the phone, you are not going to get through that first screening. Okay. Yeah, okay, Maria. Sorry, I've got so many little boxes open here. I couldn't find you. Okay, just looking for you. Okay. And so then if you speak well over the phone, great, they'll call you in and you meet face to face. Then when you're face to face, the key to successful interviewing is preparation. And so prepare well, and then know what you're going to say, how you're going to introduce yourself, how you're going to address behavioral questions. I mean, there's so much that I could tell you. Read the stuff on my website. A whole lot of it's free anyway. But I've got heaps of training. Practice without a doubt. But they're going to ask you, tell me about yourself. So make sure that question is down pat, and then see if you get a call back. If you don't, then what did I do wrong in that interview? Why was it my body language? Was it my tone of voice? Did I dress correctly? Did I, have the right answer? What did I say that was good? What did I do that was bad? And analyze it. And then if you make a number of applications and every time you stall at interview number 1, there's something wrong with the physical presence when you're there. Okay. If you do get through to the next round, then that means, I'm pretty good at interviews. Let's see if I can get past round 2. And then you carry on. And that way you're going to get more and more interview practice. You're going to meet more people. You'll be talking to more people. And it's going to be a great confidence boosting exercise for you. Does that help, Maria?
It certainly does. Thank you so much.
Okay. You're very welcome. I'll just mute you for now. And anyone else have a question before I disappear off? I can see some faces looking down at me. Anyone curious about anything? Okay. Susan Jenkins. Yes. What's up, Susan? I can't hear you. I don't know why. I've unmuted. Oh, okay. You can type. Okay. I'll mute you again. I think maybe you don't have audio on, so you're typing. Does people still require a cover letter, or is this no longer necessary? Yes, if they ask for a cover letter, add one in. If they don't, you can have one. Some people like to put the cover letter on page 1 of their resume. Okay, it just gives additional keywords to scan, that's all. But if they ask for one, yes, definitely do one. What's an easy way to get recommendations on LinkedIn? I have none, as I'm unsure. Okay. Well, on LinkedIn, if you're connected to someone, you click on just underneath, the heading and their picture. There is a little button that says More with 3 dots. You click on it, and the drop-down menu will say Ask for a recommendation. Click on that, follow the prompts, and you'll be able to get a recommendation. In my free 9-day LinkedIn course, okay, there is, I actually guide you through the whole thing. So I'll email you with the link to the free course as well as to the personal branding course if you want to get that 50% off. But the 9-day LinkedIn course is free anyway. So that'll be good. Okay, perfect. When I have attended interviews, this is, Maria asking. Hang on, Susan, weren't you going to ask me something? Susan, do we need to complete your online course in a specified? No, I'm so nice. Once you get the course, you have lifetime access. Okay, you have a chance to ask questions in the forum. I have a Kickstart Your Career closed Facebook group where you can also ask questions. I'm there. Once you get me, even at 50% off. Mainly because I'm on a mission to make careers guidance accessible and affordable to the world. I still need to eat, so I normally charge normal prices for stuff. But this is a course where it just makes it easy for everybody to get something from me as well. And if you follow me on LinkedIn, you get a whole lot of free stuff anyway, because I'm always providing advice. So I think you'll like it. It's a good course. So that was that. When I've attended interviews, Susan, I was about to ask that. Okay. Yeah, no, on that online course, I've got audios, I've got videos, I've got PDF downloads, all the exercises you need for career clarity are in there as well. But it focuses honestly on branding, because it's how do you dress? For example, I could be in my tracky dacks today, but I'm not, because I want to dress appropriately, because I respect all of you for being here and spending the time with me, right? So it's important to really look the part. There are 2 bonuses, actually. If you take the personal branding course, you get the 9-day LinkedIn challenge as a bundle in there too, and you get my Dress for Success in Business ebook, which is rather nice too. Okay, so it's some good stuff. Okay, when I have attended interviews and may have been unsuccessful, I have always sought feedback. I know others who feel very hesitant and don't do this. What's your view? Yes, ask for feedback, call back, because sometimes you get some gold in there. And also, if you get them on the phone, even if you've been unsuccessful, don't be shy. Just say, I really enjoyed, being interviewed are you? I hope you don't mind, but could you provide a little bit of feedback as to how I could improve my interview technique? Or is there anything I could have done to present myself more effectively? And I've had one client who, because I always bully people into calling, even though they don't want to, but she said, I can't believe it. The woman was so nice. She gave me all of this great feedback. And she said, actually, you're not suitable for this role, but I'm thinking that you might be suitable for this other role. So I'm glad you called back. Okay, so that's a good reason to ask for feedback. Sometimes you don't get it. Recruiters hardly ever give you feedback. All they're going to tell you is it wasn't a good fit, because they have to be careful about being sued. All right. I'm concerned about sharing my work history on LinkedIn due to privacy issues. What do you recommend? Okay, so depending on what issues, I mean, are you an investment banker and you can't put dollar figures in there, or are you worried that I did have one client who didn't want to have a profile on there because her ex-husband, she had an AVO out on him. Okay, and so she was just worried. She'd shut down Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the whole thing. She shut everything down. So if you're concerned about that, then your safety is more important than anything else. It just means if you're looking for a job, you're going to have to network in person very, very hard, because 75 to 80% of my clients get their jobs through their network, more than online applications anyway. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, offering. Really appreciate it. We have. I look forward to email. Okay. Somebody's gone. Thanks for all the information. Okay. Any more questions? Anyone want to talk to us? You've still got 19 of you are here. Don't know. Who wants to ask me a question? Just click on the little mute button on the bottom left of your screen. There'll be a little microphone. You can unmute yourself if you like, if I haven't seen you, to unmute you. Exit full screen. See if I can see any more of you. No, I can see that. Anyone want to talk to me? No? No? If you want to leave, you can leave. Oh, hang on. Is someone saying goodbye or wanting to talk? It's Maria. Maria wants to talk. Oh, you're saying goodbye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You're very welcome. Bye, guys. Pleasure talking to you. Take care. Good luck. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.